I'm Justin, and welcome to Wrestling Junkie. Alright guys, I'm about to another video today. We'll be talking about AEW Revolution and my predictions for the show. I'm really excited for this. There's a lot of matches on here that have 5-star potential. Our main event, the trios match, the Texas Death match, the women's triple threat match, the tag team 4-way. A lot of great matches on the show. Probably be a long night, but I'm there for it. But yeah, without further ado, let's into our first prediction. Alright, so for our first prediction, we'll be starting with the pre-show match. We have Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers versus Arya Daivari and Varsity Athletes. For this one, I'm gonna go Mark Briscoe and Lucha Brothers. I think all three of them have big potential in AEW going forward, especially Lucha Brothers. I think they should and could go for the tag team champion soon. Mark Briscoe, I think, could have a great singles run if he stays in AEW or he goes to Ring of Honor. I like Varsity Athletes. I like Josh Woods and Tony Nese. Not too much of a fan of Arya Daivari. Haven't really watched him since he went to AEW. But yeah, I think this will be a solid match to start off the night. This is the only pre-show match they have announced so far. But yeah, I have Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers. Alright, so for our first match on the main card, we have Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Christian Cage in a final burial match. I'm really excited for this match. I'm really interested how this goes. At first, I thought this match was going to be a no holds barred, but seemingly they switched it to the final burial. And what me and everybody else understands is going to be a buried alive match, which I think is going to be very interesting. But yeah, I think Jungle Boy is going to get the win on this one, simply because I think AEW and Tony Khan have bigger plans for him. Obviously, he's one of the 4 pillars along with MJF. I could see Jungle Boy maybe having a shot at the champion. But yeah, I think this match will be very interesting. I like Christian Cage. I think he's very underrated. I love him as a heel. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to see some interference from Luchasaurus. Maybe he comes back with Jungle Boy, and maybe they reunite Jungle Express. But yeah, I'm excited for this match. Should be a good one. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Alright, going to our next match, we have Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks with the J.A.S. band from Ringside. Now for this one, I am going to go Chris Jericho. This feud kind of started with Ricky Starks getting the win over him, and Jericho is just trying to get his revenge back at this point. With J.S. being banned, I think this is setting up a new member being added to their group. Maybe Action Andretti. I can't really think of anybody else. Maybe they have a surprise debut coming out that I don't really know anybody who could be a huge surprise that, off the top of my head at least. But yeah, I'm kind of ready for this feud to be over with. Ricky Starks is a guy I think could be a future world champion down the line. Chris Jericho is a guy who I admire a lot, mainly because in obviously the recent years he's able to always keep himself relevant and reinvent himself in different ways. But yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Jericho on this one. Not too much else to add, but yeah, on to our next one. For our next match, we have the Elite taking on the House of Black for the AEW World Trios Champions. Now for this match, I am going to go with House of Black. House of Black is a group who I think have way too much potential for AEW to pass up, giving them these belts and really give the belts a better name. Obviously, we've only had 2 holders of the belts, the Elite and Death Triangle. The Elite winning them twice, winning them most recently, getting their run back in January. But yeah, I think a win here helps the House of Black more than a win for the Elite does. All 3 men in House of Black, I think, are super underrated and should be utilized way more in AEW. Malachi Black especially hasn't done much, to be honest, since that Cody Rhodes feud when I think he first debuted. Brody King is a guy who I think him and Buddy Matthews are very underrated and deserve, I think, a lot more respect. But yeah, the Elite, obviously phenomenal. This one, like I said, matches I'm most excited for. I think this match, like I said, probably has a 5-star waiting to happen. Omega, I would like to see go for the World Championship. I think a match him versus MJF would bang. I think that'd be a great match to have. And for the Young Bucks, I'd also like to see them go back to more tag team wrestling. Um, I like, obviously, them as a trio, but I think they're better and more, in my opinion, more entertaining as a tag team. Um, but yeah, I'm going to go with House of Black for this one, and we're going to go on to the next prediction. For our next match, we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. We have the champion Jamie Hayter taking on Ruby Soho and Saraya. Now for this one, I am going to go Jamie Hayter on this one. I think she deserves a longer run. I would like to see this go, honestly, past Double or Nothing. But yeah, this match I'm looking forward to because I want to see how they let Ruby Soho kind of let her shine, because I feel like she hasn't really had much of a showing since debuting in AEW. I wouldn't mind seeing her win this match, to be honest. I think she's somebody who I do think deserves it. Saraya is somebody who we all know she started the Women's Revolution, and deserves a lot of respect for that. And she's obviously really talented. But yeah, I'd like to see this go on. I'd like to see Jamie Hayter honestly pushed more towards the face of the women's roster. I feel like right now she's kind of being overshadowed, obviously, by people like Saraya, Toni Storm, and Britt Baker, which obviously it's really hard, but I think she deserves it. I think she's really talented. She's a fan favorite, what it feels like. But yeah, I'm excited for this match. Yeah, I'm going to go Jamie Hayter on this one. And yeah, on to the next one. For our next match, we have the Texas Death Match between Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. For this one, I am going to go with Jon Moxley. Simply because this is kind of his forte. He loves this death matches. He loves to bleed. I'm expecting a lot of blood from both men, to be honest. Hangman's one of the guys who aren't really afraid of blading and getting bloody and messy. But yeah, in this match, I'm expecting some interference from Blackpool Combat Club and the Dark Order. We've kind of seen that in the weeks building up to this as well, which I think that's gonna be really fun to see that dynamic. I like the fact that Hangman he's almost like an honorary member of the Dark Order at this point. He's not officially a member, but they like him, he likes them, so it's kind of like that friendship between each other. Even though when Evil Uno challenged and came out and challenged Moxley a week or two ago, Hangman was kind of pissed off at him, but I think it's one of those things where it was kind of like tough love. He kind of felt like he maybe was still in the moment from him. But yeah, I'm excited for this match. This is one of the matches I think, like I said, has 5-star potential and can easily be match of the night, and I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I'm going to go Jon Moxley on this one, and we're going to go on to the next one. And that next match being for the AEW TNT Championship, with the champion being Samoa Joe taking on Wardlow. For this one, I'm going to go Samoa Joe, simply because I see Powerhouse Hobbs winning on Wednesday, and I don't see why they would have Wardlow winning here and then losing it on Wednesday to Hobbs. I'm excited. This is a match I'm also kind of excited for. I think this will be... Honestly, this could be a very underrated match. I don't think too many people are like hyping this up to be one of the better matches. Samoa Joe, one of my favorites, also one of the best wrestlers in the past 20 years. He's one of those guys who's been around for a long time and is still able to go at a very good level. Wardlow is a guy who is starting to become one of those higher names and one of those bigger names in AEW. But I think this match will be a very good match. The main reason why I think Hobbs will win it on Wednesday is simply because he hasn't done, in my opinion, he hasn't done anything since breaking up from Ricky Starks. I think that winning the TNT Championship will help him a lot and really help him become a bigger name. He's a guy who is similar to Samoa Joe, where he's a bigger guy but is pretty athletic. But yeah, for Samoa Joe, I kind of see him going to Ring of Honor and focusing more on that and keeping that the World TV Championship. But yeah, I'm going to go Samoa Joe for this one, and we're going to go on to the next match. That next match being for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. We have the Guns take on the Acclaim, taking on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, taking on Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. For this one, I'm going to go with the Guns to retain, which may be surprising for some. to be honest, I don't see half this match winning. I don't see Jarrett and Lethal winning, or Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. As much as I'd like to see Orange Cassidy and Danhausen win the match, I'm glad that Orange Cassidy has, in recent times, become more than just a comedy wrestler. People are actually seeing that he's really talented and he's able to have these great matches with pretty much anybody at this point. Has had an amazing reign with the All Elite Championship. And Danhausen, I'm excited to see what he does. He's a guy who hasn't really had much to do. He's kind of just been put in with the Best Friends, which I've enjoyed it a lot. And I'm glad to see that he's going to be hopefully pushed in this match as similar to Orange Cassidy, where he's more than just a comedy wrestler. He's an actual good wrestler, and he's able to prove it on Sunday. As for Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, I don't really see them winning simply because I don't know. I don't think they're just tag team champion ready, really. Jeff Jarrett is obviously been here for years now, and that's one of the reasons why I'm surprised he's able to still go at this age. Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. Jay Lethal is a guy who I've become a very big fan of. I think he's one of the best wrestlers, honestly, in the world. One of my favorites. I said that about a lot of people, but he truly is one of them. As for the Acclaim, they're the other team I could see win this. Obviously, were one of the hottest things in AEW going, especially when they won the tag team championships. But yeah, I see the Guns winning this. They haven't had a long reign, and I think they deserve to have a decently sized long reign. The rumors are that FTR is slated to beat them and take the belts off of them, which makes me think that FTR are going to come back here and maybe set up a future match at, I want to say Double or Nothing because it has to be a long time away, but maybe in a few weeks or a month or so leading up to something big. They do like their AEW or the Dynamite special shows. So yeah, I think Guns are going to win. Maybe FTR comes out at the end of the match to set up, like I said, a future match. But yeah, I'm excited for this match. This is another match that could steal the show, and I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Guns for this one. Now it is time for the main event of the show. We have the Devil himself, MJF, taking on the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. Now for this one, I am going to go MJF. I think we're in for a very long MJF title run. I think this match will be phenomenal. Bryan Danielson, I'm sure, will do some very stiff and hard shots to MJF, which I'm expecting to a lot of great mat wrestling and then just a lot of just great wrestling in general for this 60-minute match. I think we're going to see how MJF really is as a real wrestler. I think a few months, about a year or two ago now, he was pushed as a guy who was only good on the mic, but in the past year and a half now, he's been more pushed towards a guy who is good on the mic and is also really good in the ring. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of taunting from MJF during the match, and I'm sure, like I said, we're going to see a lot of Bryan Danielson hard-hitting hits towards MJF. But yeah, I think MJF's going to pick up a win here and continue his reign. I think this reign honestly goes to the end of the year and then some. Maybe we see him hold it until his contract ends, and then that's where you're in a very weird situation for AEW, or maybe they take it off of him beforehand. But yeah, I'm with MJF. But yeah, with that being our last match of the show, that will wrap up the video. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. Let us know down in the comments what you guys have for each match, your predictions for each match, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow with the results and my reaction to the show.